Well, the National Police Commissioner Fannie Masemola on a brief break before having to resume taking questions from Parliament's ad hoc committee probing alleged corruption and political interference in the South African Police Service. Newzroom Afrika's Zoleka Qodashe tracking the story joins us now. Zoleka, good morning to you. What have we seen so far today? What have been the main points for you?
Well, good morning, Stephen. What we've seen so far is questions that have been put to Fannie Masemola, the country's top cop, in relation to the disbandment of the political killings task team. Now, we began the morning with the Action SA's Darylene James, who asked questions about whether Fannie Masemola himself was beyond reproach. You'll remember that there have been significant discussions or debates around the legality or unlawfulness or constitutionality of the decision that was, or the directive that was issued by Senzo Mchunu, police minister then in 2024 for the disbandment of the political killings task team. Now, what Darylene James essentially was doing was to ask Fannie Masemola what position he took in relation to the disbandment of the political killings task team and what moves he made in relation to that directive by Senzo Mchunu. You'll remember that that directive came on the 31st of December 2024, but then Fannie Masemola was on leave, and so only caught wind of this on the 2nd of January 2025. He would return from leave on the 14th of January 2025, where he would then engage Shadrack Sibiya, the Deputy National Police Commissioner for Crime Detection, on that. He says that while he was on leave, because he was on leave, he had actually told the people that were still in office, particularly the acting National Commissioner, General Musikidi, that they must go ahead with that process. And MPs really taking issue with this, and particularly DA MP also saying that there isn't an indication from what Fannie Masemola said that he was in fact not in agreement with that decision. Darylene James also saying that, in fact, Fannie Masemola didn't take any steps to ensure that this disbandment didn't take place. But he came out quite strongly and I think quite firmly in response to those questions by MPs, saying that he did everything he could at the time to ensure that there was no disbandment of the political killings task team. He also says that while people can analyze his behavior or the stance that he took at the time in hindsight, he says that he acted alone and to the best of his ability to ensure that the political killings task team was not disbanded. He also says that members of this very House and the MPs that are now posing questions to him, that the directive didn't come in secret. In fact, it was leaked to the media and that people were aware that this was taking place. And in fact, no one did anything, and says that the responsibility, I suppose, could be shared in relation to the inaction for the failing to act for the disbandment of the political killings task team. But you'll remember, Stephen, this is an argument that he also presented before the Gauteng High Court in Pretoria, that he was being strategic when he said that there must be a winding down of the political killings or the disbandment of the political killings task team. And because of that, the PKTT is still in operation now. And in fact, he did not give effect to that directive by the minister. He also says that the urgency that was placed on the matter was not there by MPs as well. He says if this was a directive that was given in relation to the disbandment of a task team that dealt with farm murders, there would have been greater urgency from civil society, from legislators as well, in relation to ensuring that that particular process does not happen. So he came out quite strongly in that regard, but there were also questions about his role in this. You'll remember that Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi blew the lid on this in that July 6th briefing, where he actually said and spilled the beans on what he said was political interference in the work of the police service. Now, there were questions as well put to Fannie Masemola about why he was not the one that did that. He, in fact, says that perhaps their ways of working or their methods of operations between himself as well as the KZN top cop may be different, and that he, in fact, had employed different means. You'll remember that he's also told us that he had approached the president on this, and essentially the president had agreed with him that if there was to be a disbandment of the political killings task team, then his approach for the winding down would be the correct one. But of course, also saying that when he tried to reach out to Senzo Mchunu on multiple occasions, the door was shut in his face, and that there was no explanation about why there must be this disbandment of the PKT team and why it was so urgent, Stephen.